And we're live. Perfect. Hello all. Hello world. This is day 209 of studying compilers every day until I land a compiler role. Last time we started looking through tests, we were trying to figure out how to fix them, and we decided we're just gonna try and push for, I guess, parity with the old tests and see how close we can get. And then if we can just like verify whatever's left by hand, then we're in a good spot. We got pretty far into that. There's a couple of things that we need to fix with that. So that's kind of this little pile here. Which is what we're going to do this time. But before all of that, I had a nice conversation with someone on another Discord community that is not mine, but I had a bit of a conversation, and we figured out what was wrong with my cmake config. So we're hopefully gonna get a second to fix that up, and it's gonna be a good time. So yeah, we're gonna do that. I'm very excited for this because that was like the whole point of the rewrite. So, or the whole cmake rewrite is to, I guess, utilize some of this. So yeah, it's gonna be great. So let's do that first, actually. Yeah, so this goes into cmake lists, I believe. We want an enable directory pretty much, or we want an enable file so we can figure out how to actually add stuff to the path, or LD library path. The thing was, I wasn't exporting the environment variable, so obviously it wasn't working. That is why it was borked. So in the conversation, I learned pretty much how, I guess we kind of looked at this before, but let me just like make it more concrete. There is a specific read order somewhere, but LD library path is kind of at the top of that. I believe it's, let's see, where can we find it? There's a very specific resolution order, but it was like LD library path, then there was like two more environment variables, and then it's like user lib, and then like the lib directory. So that's one of the things I learned. There is like a very specific LD library path is necessarily looked at all the time. And the second thing I learned is that it is not set by default, or like there's nothing on it by default. So yeah, the big thing I was missing was this little export thing, which is very important. Let's see, what do we export environment variable? How do we even describe what it does? Yeah, so make them available to child processes. So that is obviously very important here. So yeah, we're gonna do that. I'm gonna pull up a reference file real quick. Let's see. What is it called? Sorry, I'm just pulling this up on the second monitor. So we have that file, and then we have this file. Okay. So, let's do this in here. Actually, I think this is reasonable. So, or maybe we could do like a scripts directory. That might be smart, but anyway. Yeah, and that also lets us clean up some other scripts. So let's do it like this. So we're gonna need to like do some like configure file thing here. We'll fill that in later. For now, let's make our enable file. So this is like our template, I guess. And what cmake does with configure file is it basically like does a find and replace on it. So we want what's our shell thing that we're using at least? Let's see. So test regression. Yeah, so we're gonna yoink that. So we want export path. So we want cmake install binder. And so that is the variable that we are exporting there. And then we keep the rest of path there. And then export ld library path. And then instead of install binder, we want the library directory. Yeah, so that should work, I think. So we have this now. And we can go back to this file. So now we need to write this configure file thing. I'm like stealing this logic from like our research groups projects because we love enable files. What's up, Izrith? Good to see you. What's up, Override? Any advice for new people who want to make compilers? I personally find the cool thing is optimization rather than like the PL side of things, but I think the PL side is still pretty cool, and that is like kind of what drew me into compilers to begin with. I started by taking a class in college like 2 years ago. It covered like compiler front end and back end, and I thought it was really cool. I thought it was cool how it tied together like both like PL stuff and like systemz / like architecture stuff, but it also added a bunch of like software engineering because these are like really large code bases, and it also added a bunch of like theory because there was a lot of like really cool algorithms. So that all of that kind of was what I liked about computer science. So I thought it was really cool that this field kind of encapsulated all of them. So that's kind of why I got into it. If you have no PL experience, I guess I have 2 book recommendations. The first one is like if you don't have any PL experience. The second one is if you finish that or if you have some experience with like writing an interpreter and you want to like write a proper compiler. So yeah, hopefully that was like kind of comprehensive. I'm happy to answer any follow-ups though. Yeah, hell yeah, we enjoy theft here, especially in cmake. Okay. So we want current. Or actually, can we just do this? So we have that, and then we want enable, and then at only because braces in the script. Okay, so we want yeah, how do we even want to do this actually? This is there's like 2 main problems that I foresee. But we'll find out how this ends up going. Make build. So now we have an enable. Yeah, we have enable. So we can do source enable. So if we try to run like panic right now, it doesn't exist. If we do enable source enable, and then we can do panic, and it still doesn't exist. Make install? Is that what I'm missing? Is it on the path? Wait, did it work? Or am I just blind? Oh, I'm stupid. Okay, that doesn't work. We're gonna need to clean this up real quick. because I did not do this properly. So let's do... We want to pull more variables in here. So we want... What was it again? We have a installer, right? So we want this isn't driver, right? I think we did this thing here, yeah. So let's actually configure this a little bit more. So we want if cmake install dir and if, and then we want so we want this, and then we can do cmake install dir inside of there as well, I believe. Cmake install dir slash that. So then we can do that, I think. Does this work? Make install. That didn't work. Hold up. Where did this go? Let's try that again. Huh. Yeah, why doesn't this quite work? Let's see. Did I get too hacky with it? Huh. I just finished the theory of comp course, taking programming languages in the fall and then compilers in the spring, so I'm trying to grind. I see. Yeah, in that case, I think you're probably fine. Like, they should be like pretty self-contained, worst case. So I think you'll be fine, honestly. Yeah, let me fix my camera real quick. Okay. Huh. Why isn't this working? Why isn't cmake install dir set? That's really odd. Let's try that. No, we can't do that. That doesn't work. Cmake print. Message. Alright, that should work. Make build. Huh. Well, that's annoying. Huh. Yeah, okay. I guess that wouldn't run then, huh? So let's just do this then instead. Or we can just do this anyways. And that might break something. Oh, that doesn't help. What's up, sleep? Okay, we might have to modify our make file then. Huh. Let me just check my reference, my cmake reference real quick from a super secret project. Eating granola and cherries? Hell yeah. Wait, that's actually fire. Is this a thing? I guess this means that we need to... We probably need to... Yeah, that's really annoying, actually. Yeah, what is the best way to do this, then? Okay, here's... Yeah, I don't know how to... Okay, this is actually a little bit more annoying than I thought it would be. But we can make it work. So I think... So cmake what gets run in install. Oh, this is a thing. Interesting. Okay, so then cmake run on install. So we want to do this ugly thing, I think. Unless we want like a separate directory for like cmake. Yeah, let's figure this out real quick. I'm once again gonna look at a specific project. Okay. So we're gonna... Let's make a cmake directory. Or a cmake helpers directory, maybe. Where do cmake utilities go? Yeah, what is a good place to put this? Okay, let's put this in source, maybe? I think that's kind of reasonable. Maybe, maybe not. Let's just full clean this real quick, so we don't need to worry about anything. Let's do that real quick. There we go. Much more clean. Yeah, so how do we want to do this? I don't like having this just like sitting here. Yeah, what is a good place for it though? I guess we could just make a cmake directory. What does LLVM do? I think it just has a cmake, right? Yeah. It's modules. Sure. Let's just make a cmake directory and call it a day, I think. Unless someone else has a good idea that people... What are cmake modules? Oh, okay, sure. Okay, well, we'll just make a cmake and call it a day. So we can do install cmake or post install. Yeah, it's inevitable. This is just cmake hell. We love cmake. Yeah, so we want this to go here instead. So we want cmake current that. Yeah, that makes sense actually. We can do that. And then how do we run that inline again? We do script and then we do that. So let's go to, yeah, we can just do this. And then can you just copy the dependency manually and then just subdir? What do you mean by that specifically? Okay, so let's do same as fetch content. I see. Oh, yeah. That would probably work. I like fetch content because it's like self-contained. But like submodule is also fine. That might actually, submodule might be better, but it's more annoying to build, so I don't do that. So cmake / post install.cmake. Make, so that makes build. This should not generate an enable file, I believe. Okay, we're just running the tests. That's great. We'll let it do that. Yeah, go run the tests. Yep, that takes a while. Many reg. We love many reg. Okay. So then, okay, so we don't have an enable file here, but make install. That should in fact make the enable file, I think. Yes. And then if we look at enable now, that doesn't quite do what we want it to. Something has gone wrong. Huh. Okay, but it looks like it logics correctly. Install dir. Or wait, what the hell? No, the problem is like the actual place, or the thing we're adding to the paths did not look right here. Yeah, so we want like this. But something is obviously off with that. Just about done with Forest and Balls books? Nice. How do you feel about them? What's up, Aiden? In the IR cave? Hell yeah. Are we... How's that going? How's the optimizing? Good? Hell yeah. cmake binder. Install binder. SSA, SCP, and dead code elimination? Hell yeah. Wait, you've actually implemented like more than I've implemented in this Loki. GVN and VRA? Yeah, that seems fair enough. Yeah, I think that's pretty comprehensive. You could probably do, what's it called? Strength reduction, I think, which is just like, I guess, replacing expensive computations with cheaper ones. There's a very canonical example. Strength reduction. It's like the loop variant of it. Yeah, it's this. So instead of like reusing or multiplying by the induction variable, you keep like you transform it so that you keep like a current count and then you add it instead of, or you set it and then increment the, I guess, the that variable instead. Yeah, this is like, I like this example a lot. And it also like lets you do other optimizations as well. So yeah, this one's like kind of fun to do at least. But yeah. Anyway, back to cmake install hell. Okay, cmake install prefix. Read the Thorn Trooper book? No, I have not. LICM? Yeah. That one's fun. Yes, everything's built on code analyses, so I think if you have those down, it makes things a lot easier. But it's kind of just a bunch of disjoint parts, and then like you can kind of like link them together, and it's like, oh, you like made a cool thing out of it somehow, and it's like really nice. Do you see yourself taking a role outside of compilers? There's a chance. Ideally not though, at least given what I'm currently working on. I think compilers specifically are really cool, and I think most of my knowledge depth is in compilers, so I would want to continue that as much as possible. cmake binary dir. That doesn't help me. So let's do, we can do that. And then, wait. Wait, so how do we set this path properly then? How do we build this path up? Because we just have bin, which is not helpful to us. So we want, oh man. So we want what? cmake binary dir / install dir? Wait. Wait, this is getting confusing. Yeah, this is getting really, really confusing. Oh man. So we want install prefix, I think. Right? How did we configure our make file for this? Install dir is just install. Maybe we should just make this an absolute path? I don't know. Yeah, what is the best way to do this, I guess? Install dir absolute path. Okay, so it should be relative, I see. So install prefix. Wait. Okay, so we want cmake install prefix as well here, I think. How does this substitute properly? Yeah, so we want this as like post install. So what is this thing again? Man, why am I doing cmake? Why am I doing this? Cmake configure file. Okay, so we want that. Okay. So we want cmake current source stir? Is that the one I want? I think yes, actually. So we can yoink that. So that's really ugly, but it'll be fine. Let's just split this up as well for readability. Let's try that again. So now, if we look at enable, there we go. It's perfect. It's actually perfect. Oh my god. It's missing the thing though. Are we kidding me? It's missing the last little bit. Yeah, so we have install correct. We're missing the directory at the end here. What the fuck? Why are we missing this? Do we not set it? Oh. Yeah, okay, we need to do that in the thing. I see. So let's do that. So we can do this. And now if we look at it, we should be good, finally. Yeah, there we go, okay. So now we can do source enable. And then we can do panic, or we could do which panic. And there we go, it exists. But that doesn't work. Why the fuck doesn't that work? Okay, that's a separate problem, but we'll worry about that in a second. I think I know why though. Because our install directory has lib64 instead. I don't know why. Why is it sometimes lib64? Oh my god. Okay. This might be an interesting read. Unless, huh, wait. So we want... Well, that's not helpful. So why is this nuking my... Why is that breaking like that? Okay, this sequencing is fine, I think. How do we run our tests again? Wait. Oh, we don't even run cmake tests? So like, do we even need this even? Huh, wait. So then make test. Okay, so that works just independently of this. So we can even just do this, I think. And that's like cleaner in some really sick and twisted way. No, we do need that. We do need that. We need that for the, what's it called? For CI/CD to run tests properly, I believe. So let's add that back, at least. Yeah, let's do it in this like order. I think this makes sense. We could also just like make pre-install as well as a script, which does the GNU install dirs. But we also need that, so I think it's probably fine to keep as is. I wish this were more readable. I wish cmake were just not miserable to do, but oh well. Yeah. Okay, so next question is this whole slop. What the hell are we doing here? Is there a cmake alternative? There are other package managers, but I think cmake is like the most canonical one. And most importantly, a lot of the projects I'm poking at are gonna deal with cmake. So I will unfortunately want to learn how cmake works. Just for like my own growth, which is really funny to say actually. Because I feel like I'm not really growing. I feel like I'm bonking my head against the wall more than anything. So, yeah, that's life. This we need to figure out at some point, because this is just not gonna work. But we'll worry about that in a second. Yeah. Do we need to worry about this actually? Or, right? Because we need that for like the library directory. But I think if it's already on our path, then I don't think we need to. Do we need to include it then? We might have to still. I don't know. We'll worry about that later. Yeah, the problem is we can't really. This is like really annoying to figure out. At least with a difference between the two, I guess. Okay. So if their libraries are required by an executable, those should be going into those ones. Here, okay, yeah. God damn it. This is so annoying. Okay. Ah, full blind, sorry. Huh. Also, real quick, echo LD library path. Oh my god. Okay. So let's source enable. Let's clean that up real quick. Okay, so we need to figure out the directories for that. Let's do that. Okay, so we need to figure out where those live. Huh. So then, or how do we Or I guess, why is it lib64 here? Something is wrong. Why is it lib64 here, but then in here GNU installers is doing the other one. Maybe we're doing a different library directory? Okay, sure. What is it called? It should be consistent at least, which is what's confusing me. Right? Because this is, okay, we're using cmake install libdir there. And then in... Or wait, that shouldn't matter. Why is it not in here at least? Alright, do we see why this is confusing now? We're still just fighting cmake at every step. Huh. Maybe we put this on top? I don't think that does anything. Grr. Yeah, it's just like a mess. And they keep adding stuff, they keep trimming stuff. None of it makes sense. Let's see. Like, why does it... Ah. What the fuck? Okay, fuck this shit. We're setting this by hand. I don't want to deal with that. Yeah, this is getting really irritating, actually. Ah. God damn it. How do we want to do this? How do we want to name this? Let's do... This is probably fine. And then we can do what? Install script, or not script. The other thing, code. And we can do install or include new installers. Okay, so now if we look at enable, it's still lib. Are we serious? What the hell? Oh, that's so stupid. cmake install libdir. This is really annoying. This is so incredibly annoying. I'm running Fedora, so that shouldn't matter. Or all of that should be moot, at least. I guess the problem lies here. Why is it library? Why is it lib? Like, I don't know. Why does it get placed into one? Why is it different? cmake. What's it called? GNU installers using different lib and lib64 at same time. Yeah, we could just do it by hand. We could just do it by hand and call it a day. Like, why is it doing this? Why? Like, why? Like, why? Like, what is wrong with cmake? What actually is wrong with this chud ass frickin'? God damn it. Okay, I think we might just have to set this by hand, is what I'm getting from this, which really sucks. But I don't know, I'm pissed. I'm so pissed. Oh my god. Job security build system is so real. Should I just hardcode this instead of using this stupid thing? Or this would all be fine if I just made this at build time as well. But, grr. Okay, while we're at it, enable. Let's add that to that. Also, we need to add it to git ignore. I just realized. So, like, what the fuck? This is very disconcerting. Full. Oh, that's a thing? Okay, wait, we gotta use that instead. Wait, hold up. Yeah, that would actually solve all of this, I think. Right? So we can do full binder. Or let's also modify the makefile again. So we want install test. We should start running make install anyway. Anyway, enabled is still wrong. Like, it's correct, but it's wrong. Okay, but that lets us shorten it. That's really good. Okay, so we still want current source dir, but we can just do that now, which shortens it a little bit. There we go. Oh yeah. Something is wrong. Did I mess something up? Did I pasted it wrong? Okay. So we can do that. There we go. So now if we look at it, there we go. First try. Okay. Great. So now we need to figure out this lib64 thing. I'm actually just dumbfounded by this. Huh. Let's do... What if we just hard code it? Like, actually, what if we just hard code it? That seems like way more fun. Unless, wait, hold up. Or at least, why is it... wait. So we're looking at this. lib64. Maybe we just need to hard code some stuff into this, actually. So let's go to source, this thing. There was some like big install stuff. There is some more config stuff that existed, right? There's not configure file. Cmake install command. Or there was a way to manual override stuff. Okay, yeah, so we should change that. Right? Thanks, Isrith. Thanks for stopping by. Hopefully all goes well for you as well. Holy hell. Install with dirs. There was a thing here, right? Specific. There is a way to change it. I forgot what it was. I know it exists. Ugh. Or maybe we should look in GNU installers? I swear there was a thing. Or there is a way to like set all of these. What is the built-in default? I guess that means we can get away with not using this even. Yeah, let's try it without it, just out of curiosity. And then we can just hard code it to the defaults. Oh yeah. Right, let's see where this installs to. And it's still, oh, okay, it's in the right place now. That's a good change. So install, we have a lib directory, and that's where all of our stuff goes. That's cool. Okay. So then if we go to enable, it doesn't exist because we didn't hard code it, which is also fine. But okay, we know it has built-ins now. So we can actually just do, we can simplify this down a lot actually, I think. Enable.in. So we want, so we can do cmake install dir / bin. And then we can do this, but lib. Okay, and then now we look at enable. We have an extra slash. That's great. Let's try that again. There we go. Perfect. All cleaned up. Yeah. So then we can do, let's make a new one. Source enable panic. Is that the right path? Did I mess it up? Panic. Oh my god, I did mess it up. So there is no cmake install dir. Cmake install prefix. That's what it was. That's what it was. Prefix. There we go. That looks correct now. So, yeah, source enable. So then panic. Nice. Okay, it runs. It runs properly. The other thing I'm curious about though is panic, test, regression. Let's see if it links something properly. Parsing. I spelled panic wrong. Okay, so it looks like it links properly, which is interesting. How can we test this? Let's commit some stuff real quick. So let's add those. Let's add cmake lists. Oh, we need that. Get the install stuff working. Okay, so that's progress. The next thing I want to check is whether our directories, what's it called? Not directories. if the path to the shared library is correct. I'm trying to think how we can do this. Or the panic runtime, I guess. So yeah. So what if we make clean and then we do this again? This might break. Okay, that works surprisingly. We should probably just like print out the actual command here, I think. Let's see. Yeah, let's do that. Let's just make install. So if we do build source driver panic, let's give it parsing. Okay. Interesting. So that looks inside the installer. Wait, it looks inside lib64? What are we doing? Wait, what the Wait, does the runtime live there then? No, it doesn't. Holy hell. I'm getting frazzled. Yeah, we love cmake. We really love cmake. Okay, let's... Okay, and we just don't install anymore. What the fuck? What changed? Oh, wait. Wait, what? So where are we installing to, then? I'm so confused. None of this makes sense. What's a panda? I'm very lost right now. That's kind of the current state of things. Oh, okay, we figured it out. Okay. It was fine. I'm just tripping, I guess. At the boot camp, day 1 is mid. I see. What'd you learn so far? Was it just like basic setup stuff, or? Right, so it points to the install one, so let's just make build only, and then we'll see what happens. Leak code for 6 hours? Damn. That's brutal. Me personally, if I wanted to do leak code for 6 hours, I would just do leak code for 6 hours. But I don't want to do that, so yeah. Okay, let's do this again. Okay, so that fails, which is interesting. I want these to be different if at all possible. And that also just doesn't look correct as well, which is interesting. Anyway, let's go to source, driver. Okay, so I guess this just doesn't exist anyway. Hopefully they'll change it tomorrow. I see. Yeah, I hope they do as well. cmake rebuild on install. Yeah, this is interesting actually. Because this path necessarily changes, at least. Have you seen the podcast from the creator of C++? I have not. I think someone mentioned it to me though, but I haven't at least looked at it. Yeah. 2 hours? Damn. Okay, we need to figure out how to do this properly. Because we need to run it different. We need to build differently on install, I think. I might have to clod this, actually. Let me just change my clod account real quick. Because I have one for a class, which is very distinct. Log in. Okay. I've been looking up a lot of stuff for research, but we don't talk about that. I might be a little bit fraudulent in some places, but that's okay. Yeah, we're clodding it out. How do I build my cmake project builds with a environment variable that is cmake builds something that depends on the path of a library. How do I make it different for just build and for install? Generator. Wait, what? This is a thing? What? Okay. Wait. Is this actually a thing? I want to try this out. So let's do... We can get rid of... Let's get rid of that for now. Or it's just this one for now, I believe. So we want... We want whatever the hell was in here, pretty much. So for something like... How would that work? Okay, this is like fine. That was wrong before. Install time path. Oh, that's a thing? What? Wait, what the fuck? Are we serious? Problem is it hard codes into the environment variable. Let's do that so we can read it. install time unless there's a way to switch it. Yeah, what is the best way to do this, anyway? Git env, okay. Okay, we're just gonna feed it the damn thing. Yeah, we'll just do this. Oh my god, that's so bad. That's so ugly. Eee. Yuck. I need it to find, what's it called? Why did I look up history? Let's split screen it properly again. Let's see. Yeah, okay, so we need that. Find it relative to the executable. That's so stupid, actually. Is there another way? Our path. This doesn't help me. This is not helpful. I guess it does exist on the path. Wait, seriously? Does that actually work? Wait, let's get rid of that then. Okay, let's rebuild it. I'm very curious if this works. What? Is that just an unused flag? Is that what I missed? Can I scroll? Okay, thank you. Am I just tripping? Redefined. Oh, I see. Yeah, okay. Let's just delete this for now. I think that should have a set at least. So then... or is there a way to not install dependencies, maybe? Do I need to install dependencies? I might need to install dependencies, actually. That's annoying. Is there a way to filter out all of the up-to-date stuff? Oh well, cmake. Okay, so now if we do this, that doesn't work. But if we just do this with panic instead, does that work? Okay, we have a completely different problem now. Are we serious? Are we back to this? What the fuck? Unless it moved to another location, which would be really, really funny. If it did that, I would be so mad. Still... Okay, it's still there. So now if we do that, or panic. Okay. So that's borked. I'm gonna use the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back. And I'll also think about this in the meantime. Don't burn the house down. You know the usual. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. I figured out what was wrong. Short answer, I'm a bot. Camera, please. Thank you. I forgot there is another environment variable we gotta set. This is just the config experience. So let's go to enable in. We need to add library path. Yeah, that should work now. That should be good. So make install, and then, so the build one probably won't work, but this should work. Why doesn't that work? Wait. Oh wait, source enable. And now if we do that, there we go. Okay, that works. So that works now. What's up, Sloppy? Yeah, okay, so this does what we want it to now. So we don't need to worry about it if we have enable, because this is something we can find there. I imagine this also works fine. I guess the problem is this doesn't work if we don't have enable. Life as usual, what about you? I'm doing alright. I've spent this entire stream just fighting cmake and learning more about cmake because I don't know shit about, apparently I don't know enough about Unix, and cmake to set up install stuff properly. But we're getting there. It turns out I learned how export works. I learned that relearned that library path exists. All is good. C++ needs better build system? Yeah. It's like, it's crazy that like it's its own complete like separate language. Still alive? Yes. I figured out a lot of stuff. We got all of this working. I just got rid of like GNU installers and called it a day. But we also made library path a thing, which is also important. So LD library path is where all the dynamic libraries live. Library path is where all the static libraries live, I guess. So this is why they exist. But yeah, we fixed that now. Let's see. Let's diff all of this stuff. So set that. So this is library path is also a thing. And then we need to fix one more thing, I believe. Or I guess the problem is we can't link with it in the build version. So like, if we make a new terminal, echo library path, that's empty here, but if we go here, we have it enabled to echo library path. So it exists on here. So here, if we like ran the thing, and we invoke the linker with the runtime library, it would be fine. If we even just tested it with runtime library, if we do a.out, it prints 6.7 as expected. But here, if we do the same thing, which was, or this uses our install panic. If we do build source driver panic, that also works here because it can find it because the library is on the path, so life is good. a.out is still 6.7. But if we go here, we want to, what do we do? So first of all, we can't call the system one, or the one in install, because, well, it's not on the path. But if we were to do the build source driver panic thing, let's give it runtime library. Yeah, we can't find the runtime. So we need to figure out what to do with that. This is the one edge case. I don't know what to do with this. Let's see. What's a Mac? I imagine this is a very familiar account to me. Maybe we could just leave it like this, though. I'm kind of lazy. I don't want to fix this. This is a lot of work. We can get rid of this print as well. Okay. So let's go. We can just close out of this, I think. We can just work off of this terminal for now. Make build, or make install. Yeah, we had to change that, but that's fine. Let's see, what else did we need to do? Yeah, is there a way to fix this? I don't think there's a great way to fix this here. We kind of just gotta deal with it, it feels like. We'll just leave it to do and call it a day. Yeah, we'll just do that. Make build. Yeah, this seems reasonable enough to me. Is there an instance where this might cause a problem with our test runner, though? I think that is the other thing I'm concerned about. Or a regression test generator. So test, regression. If we generate, that looks like it's working surprisingly. Or yes, this works because we have it on our path, right? So if we do build bin, or we generate, that works? Okay. Okay, sure. That's surprising. Why does that work? Argus? No, we're not linking it, so obviously that's gonna be fine. Yeah, okay. So that's fine, surprisingly. And then test benchmark. That does not work. Okay, so then, Okay, let's do... What if we just made that source the enable script as well? But then enable doesn't necessarily exist, so it's like kind of confusing. I have an idea. Let's just add it to the path here and we'll just call it a day on the test script. Benchmark. And then maybe we could do like export. And then we can yoink this from our enable, I think, right? It's just instead of this, we want what? I guess we have this hard-coded, so we have like what? Build source driver, and then that. Build source driver. So now if we run benchmark, it should work. Yeah, okay. And then path, or library, path. Okay, so it didn't export that, at least outside of that. So that's good. Let's add no, we don't have source. Test, benchmark, benchmark. Do that. Anyway, I think that's probably a good place to call today, though. I have fought cmake for way too long. I think this is actually like enough for cmake. We don't need to worry about it anymore at this point. But yeah, next time we can finish debugging the output, hopefully, and I think we will be in a good spot. But until then, I'm going to go enjoy the rest of my evening. Thanks y'all for showing up. Like the stream, sub to the channel if you haven't. Check out the description, join my Discord. Best place to get pinged when I go live, and stay up to date with everyone else in the community. It's 4 a.m. You should get some sleep. Holy hell. Yeah. Also, if you want to give me money, check out my GitHub sponsors. It's also in the description. Yeah. Take care, y'all. Take it easy, and I will see you all tomorrow.